Hello everyone, Mike Hano from the Canadian Ski Guide Association. Let's talk maps. So, some vital information on maps. When you get your map, try and orient yourself. At the bottom here you can see we have a scale reference, so 1 to 50,000. And a little bit further along in this region here, we can see the contour line dimensions, 100-foot contour lines. So this is a 1 to 50,000 map with 100-foot contour lines. So what that means is each one of these square grids here, which is 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, represents 1 kilometer in the field. So each one of these squares is 1 square kilometer in the field. Another thing to note at the top here is the grid north, the true north, and the magnetic north. So the grid north are the lines that you see on the map. When cartographers were building these, you have to understand that they were taking a 3-dimensional space, which is the Earth's sphere, and trying to flatten it out onto a 2-dimensional space, which is the maps that we use. So I apologize to any flatlanders out there, but essentially there is a difference between the true north and the grid north. So the grid north is what you see on your map. The true north is if this was represented in a sphere type shape, that would be pointing towards the north. And then the magnetic north, of course, that's the magnetic north poles. And those change ever so slightly every year. So there's a couple ways you can figure that out. You can either go and do a Google search for your region, and it'll tell you what the magnetic declination is in the present, or you can calculate it off of the map. So if you want to calculate it off the map, you'll have to look at some of the map datum, the year the map was printed, and the annual change in the magnetic north to the grid north. And so from this map, you can see here at the bottom, it says annual change decreasing of 14.6. So 14.6 represents 14 minutes and 6 seconds. So there are 60 minutes in a degree. There are 60 seconds in 1 minute. And so you can calculate the change based on the difference of the year. The map was made to present time and do a calculation that way, which we'll do in a separate video, but you can do it on the map if you happen to be in the field. In terms of grids and grid references, the way to read a map is from left to right and bottom to top. So if you wanted to provide someone a grid reference, if we look on the map here, for example, we can see this darker line here. That's the easting of 50, and if we continue to move to the right, we have 51 and 52. And the northing, if we move up the scale here, is 78, 79, 80, etc. So if we want to provide a grid reference, for example, for the top of the letter N, if we move from left to right, so that would be easting 52, and being that the top of the letter N here is right on the line, so that'd be 520. And then if we move up the northing, so 80, and then we can divide this 1 kilometer square into tenths, and so that would be about 1, 2, 3, 4, so 804. So we have an easting of 520 and a northing of 804. And to be more precise with those, you can use your compass. And on your compass, you can see that you've got some millimeter measurements here. And so using those millimeter measurements, you've got 20 millimeters per square, so 2 millimeters per tenth. So if for some reason you landed at 10 millimeters, then that'd be halfway through, and that would be a 0.5 in your grid reference there. So for example, if we were to look here, 520 and halfway through, so that'd be 10 millimeters, so that'd be 525. And moving up the scale, 77, and if we were to say be 10 millimeters up, that'd be 775. So 525, 775 would put us right in the middle of this grid right here. And that's how we provide a grid reference. Hopefully you found that helpful, and we'll be talking about how to build a route plan in the next video.